My name is Carrie Falcone. I'm 48 years old, and I was blessed on Mother's Day. My son Benjamin was born.
I'm Ben Falcone, and I'm 12 years old, and I go to St. James School, and I'm in 6th grade. Well, I have Behçet syndrome, Mediterranean fever syndrome, and I also have a brain tumor on one of my glands in my brain. And the Behçet syndrome, it makes me get cysts all over my body, and they really hurt, and I don't really like it. And in my Mediterranean fever syndrome, it causes me to get high fevers. My highest fever I ever got was 108 Fahrenheit.
So our history and how we got involved with Steps Together is that Benjamin, at 3 months old, began having 108 fevers and every month, and a lot of trouble eating and breathing. He has a very complex condition, and it took about 2 years to get diagnosed. But in a nutshell, when he was born, he had Mediterranean fever syndrome, and he had tracheal and laryngeal malacia. So he had a weakened airway. And they told us that he had failure to thrive. Failure to thrive meant, he probably won't see 2 years old. To inhibit the inflammation was a medication called Ilaris, and it was $65,000 a month because it was off-label. Our government administration got something approved called Right to Try. So it's if you have a child and there's a medicine and it's not approved by the FDA for that indication, but a doctor wants to use it off-label, that it's more negotiable with the pricing with the insurance. So it got it down from $65,000 to $2,000, but take a middle-class family and just, that one medicine was still $2,000 a month. We're very thankful, but that's not the only medication that he takes. So he's been constantly x-rayed. I would hold my infant, and it got to the point where they said, I've been exposed to too much radiation, and I had to find people to help hold him because at every episode they had to make sure his lungs were clear. So, just very complex and complicated. Through this, I got very sick. I got diagnosed with lupus in 2016, 4 years later. I had to actually go on a chemotherapy because the lupus was so bad. I have systemic lupus, and it was attacking my organs. So I'm trying to take care of myself. We have our 4-year-old Benjamin, and then someone was negligent, and he was riding his bicycle, and they ran my husband over, and he broke 9 vertebrae. And so that was in 2017. So just, a lot. And then my husband's parents passed away, and so we have no other help at all now anymore. And Benjamin began getting more pain in 2020, and the doctors did more studies. They know more about Mediterranean fever syndrome, and something that it does is it leads to something called Behçet syndrome. So he tested positive for Behçet syndrome, and it leads to tumors, cysts, and anything can trigger a flare-up. So, as a result, we had to try to keep his food and environment as clean as possible.
Well, I can't really eat that much lactose and dairy because that would cause me to get stomach aches. And one time I actually ate 2 Fun Dips and an ice cream that had so much dairy. Tonight did not go as well.
So, of course, no animals, no pets, no rugs, having a special HVAC system, and it's so costly. How are we going to do that? So Steps Together helped us with that. And then also something really particularly amazing is the people that you meet. And Benjamin, he loves lacrosse. And what means so much is that we met a family through Steps Together, and he met a lacrosse player, I'm gonna cry, but who met with him, and really he met with him weekly, and Ben just looks up to him and gave him just skills and things that he does to make him better. And this year, we think he's learning and he's using that.
Someone I met through Steps Together is Anthony, and he really helped me a lot with lacrosse. Every single week we worked together, and he taught me a lot of skills in lacrosse. And he's able to get my body working more, and he helped me through a lot during the summer and fall and last spring. He's really a good person to me.
And just helping him to get out there and just be with other kids makes such a huge difference in his day-to-day, considering everything he goes through. And then most recently, in addition to the cyst, his bones were breaking, and he didn't grow for 3 years, and he has a brain tumor on his pituitary gland, which has led to 100% endocrine failure. So we're working through that. He's had basal ganglia damage from the fevers, so processing, reading, writing, and he also has Tourette syndrome. We're trying to keep things as normal as possible while fulfilling all these extra needs. The therapists and the doctors have said what's very important to families who go through ongoing illnesses is having stability and home. We have refinanced our home 11 times in 15 years. And it's costly, but it's just how we try to navigate steps together. We were connected and just has changed our lives. It's how we've gotten through many of these years. I mean, if we did not have steps together, we would have had to sell our house. We would not have the means to get Ben the organic food he needs. I don't know if he'd be as successful and healthy as he is. I don't even know where our family would be.